Welcome back for another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today I wanted to have a conversation talking about champions. More specifically, how am I building my champions? I had a question from a couple of people asking about like what gear to keep, what am I looking for in gear, what am I looking for in champions, what am I doing when I'm building a champion? So we're gonna take a look and kind of compare and contrast here on the free-to-play account, which this account is where we at like 100-ish days on it. 114 days in on this account, so what, almost 4 months. And then we're gonna go over to my main account, which is more like end game, and show you guys what I'm talking about here. But before we hop in, just give me a quick second to tell you guys how you can start off a brand new account with a free legendary and some of the best epics in the game. Before you click the link down there in the description, log out of your Polarium Play account, then click the link in the description. It'll take you to this page. Create a brand new account with a brand new email, and then complete the tutorial, and then go to your inbox, and your free legendary champion will be waiting for you in there, and then you'll get your free epics as you level up your account. All right, so when you're building champions, 90% of the time, speed is king. Yeah, 90% of the time, speed is king. I'll give you an example later of where speed, you don't want any speed. Basically, like when you're using stone skin, or when you're using like certain champions, you can get away with not a lot of speed, but for the most part, you want your champions going as quickly as possible, especially a champion that's going to be a speed lead. And what is a speed lead? Well, if you don't know, it's a champion that is going to have a turn meter boost on there. So he's got to increase attack, strengthen, builds turn meter of all allies by 15%. Another example here on the lower account is High Katoon. Builds turn meter by 15% and increases speed. So we want these champions going first, ideally. So I put them in some of my fastest gear. She's going 241. I use Artor a little bit more. He's going 266. Speed is always king. Speed means more turns in Raid Shadow Legends, especially when you're going PvE. PvE meaning dungeons, bosses, all that kind of stuff. Speed is king. That means more turns, more time to put on debuffs, more time to put on damage, all that kind of great stuff. Now, early game, one of the easiest sets to get speed on is going to be the speed set. Now, this is the most basic of basic building, is building somewhere for speed. You just want to get as many speed rolls as possible. We got pretty lucky on this, to be honest. Like, we got a triple roll there, we got a double roll there, another triple roll here, which I haven't even taken that up. I mean, I do have a little bit of silver. Let's take it up just for the video here. Let's see if we can get a quad. No, okay. I mean, if you can get a quad roll on a 4, 5-star, 6-star piece, that's amazing. Don't really have too much speed on the gloves, just because I don't really have HP gloves with speed. We got speed there, and then obviously speed boots with speed set. Now, sometimes you can sacrifice and go away from speed set if you have other stuff with like triple speed rolls on them and stuff. But I'm so new on this account, I don't have a ton of extra gear laying around. But like, even then, like with the speed stuff, like how am I choosing, like what am I going with here? Most of the time on almost all of my like support and defensive builds and like debuffer builds, I'm going with 1 HP and 1 defense for chest and gloves. Just because that just adds a nice little bit of support. Now here you see on him, we got a little bit of heavy onto the HP, which ideally I'd love to have a glove or a chest piece that was defensive based, but I just don't have that on this account. So you kind of got to work with what you have as when you're new. I have HP gloves that are 5-star. I have a 6-star chest piece that has a little speed on there. So I was like, okay, that gives us a lot of survivability. Even though we don't have the most defense on him, 2,400 for a 4-month-old account is pretty decent. That's really like, I'm just trying to get him as quick as possible and as survivable as possible. And that's where the HP comes in. But one thing you also need to take into account with the champion is, what are they using? Like, what are they putting on their buffs? He's got a revive with an increased attack, increased attack strengthen, attacks all enemies and heals. He doesn't need any accuracy to land any of his stuff. However, if I'm building a champion like Gallic, he's going to be placing HP burn, block buffs, decreased speed. He's going to be placing debuffs on the enemy champion. Anytime you're placing debuffs on an enemy champion, decreased defense, block buffs, these are things that you're going to need accuracy for. Decreased defense, HP poison, HP burn, poison. Now, if it was just strictly we're placing crit rate and crit damage, we wouldn't need that. But since he's going to be placing the HP burn and poison, we need some accuracy. So that's when you need to start taking that into account. Now, Farrakhan the Fat, he's a little bit of an odd example here, because he is a champion that he's attack based, but really I'm not building him for attack. I'm building him more to land the debuffs. And honestly, I need to get his accuracy up a little bit, but that's part of where I'm at on this account, that I just don't have the accuracy stuff I would love to get more perception. I just rolled some up, so maybe I can go back and revisit him, but I'd love to get him more in like a perception, like 2-piece perception, but I also want him surviving. Like, we don't really want him dealing damage with his attack. I mean, if he deals damage, it's great, but we really want him surviving and being accurate as well. And so maybe even switching him over to a perception when I get a little bit more perception gear would be good. But again, like, what am I looking at in this gear? So again, you see here, HP and then defense, right? We got 1 and 1 on all of that. We got speed boots. Most of the time, you're gonna want speed boots. Sometimes, like with the nuker, you can get away with like attack or your attack percent or even defense percent, depending on how they're nuking, or even HP. But for the most part, like speed boots, I don't even know if he's a good example because I feel like he has a defensive chest space. For an attack champion, we're able to lean more into like an attack chest piece, crit damage gloves, still speed boots. But then, like, if we're going crit damage gloves, we need to be looking for crit rate. So that, I guess that's the next point. I know I'm going to be all over in this video because it's one of those weird things. I just build champions. I just go at it. I have an idea what I want to do with them. So like my thought process here for Alice was I want to get her full crit damage. I want to get her in crit damage gloves. Not overly concerned about getting her in sets. I want her at 100% crit rate. I want her with crit damage. So I start with the gloves. That's where I start here. Crit damage gloves. And then I find me a decent chest piece that has whatever base stat I'm looking for. For her, we definitely want an attack and crit rate. And I start there. Then I find some speed boots that have some crit rate. And then I go from there. Then once you get the bottom 3, the rest is easy. Obviously, also make sure you have your masteries on because you're going to get some crit rate from there if you're building for crit rate, or even accuracy. You can work there. Now she does, actually, I don't even think I like intentionally put her banner on there. She's got ignore defense, chance of increasing the cooldown. So we do need a little bit of accuracy for that. And by a little bit, I mean, we need enough to get through there. But I wouldn't even mind her and just a strictly attack banner, just going straight up for damage. But her having 230 accuracy where I'm at, it's not bad. We got her in a crit damage amulet. Anytime you're going with a crit build, you want to go with the crit damage amulet. And then ideally, we'd love to have an attack ring or HP ring with attack subsets, but just don't have that. This is the best ring I had for her. So sometimes when you're on a lower account, you kind of got to go hodgepodge and kind of make it work. A champion like Ugo here. Ugo, we're going to be decreasing defense, blocking buffs. We also have heal reduction. We have a res on there, leech. So we want Ugo landing those debuffs and being able to get through. Ugo also is attack based. I'm not overly worried about that. I'm not going to build Ugo in crit rate because I'm more worried about Ugo landing those debuffs. Again, I'd like to get Ugo in like perception set, and I'll show you. I'll show you on my main account how some of these champions look compared to here. Again, very survivable, 3,000 HP, 6,200 on the hit points. We also want her 62,000 rather. We want Ugo pretty fast as well because when we're going decreased defense, we want that to land before our attackers are going. And then, you know, one of my attackers here, or one of my burners, Gallic, we got him built speed set perception because I want him with some accuracy. We got some pinpoint on there. I do have him built in crit set because he does have the HP burn. He does have the block buffs, all that kind of great stuff. So we definitely want him with accuracy, but he's also a solid damage dealer for me on this account. So I went a little bit heavier into the attack percent. And then we got him with speed, 100% crit rate, got him some accuracy in there. Again, crit damage gloves. On him, I didn't really have a great, I wanted him in at least 2 pieces of perception. When I built him, I didn't really have a better option. So I kind of went with that. I guess like I might be able to flop him over, but finding the crit rate is the tough thing, especially on a lower account. Then we'll go with speed boots. Like those relentless boots are really nice. 2-piece speed just to get him moving faster, but also get lucky on the crit rate there. So just kind of like all over here on a new account. Don't worry as much about the sets. Like obviously it's nice, and I could probably build this Ferric and the Fat better, but I have him in the full lifesteal set here. Tagor, he's an HP champion. I don't have him in any HP, but I want him going quick, so he's getting more turns. Like where I'm at on this account, my goal speed is minimum 200 on all of these champions, all my 6-star champions. My goal speed is minimum of 200. One example of not that is Kale, but he kind of needs rebuilt. But again, he's crit damage, you know, it's just one of those things. But let's kind of compare this to my main account, show you guys what I'm talking about. But I guess I didn't really talk about too much. What am I looking for in gear? When you get to a point where you're building 6-star champions, which you should aim to be there, like building champions up 6 stars using those, they're going to be stronger, obviously. I really don't use anything that is not percent based. There's some situations you're gonna use that. Like newer account, you can get away with that. First couple months in, you can get away with using like base stats. And what I mean by that is, I mean like, I guess let me move my big head out of here. Like flat HP, flat attack, flat defense. I don't really keep much of that around. Honestly, I usually get rid of it. But in like the special sets, I'll keep it around. For the most part, I'm going with, you know, the percent sets or the percent bases. It's just a much bigger boost. I guess let's see if we have an example comparing and contrasting directly here. Let's see what we got. Of course, nothing is upgraded. That's a flat attack, flat attack. Okay, so defense chest piece here. Let's put it up. I guess it would go up to 225. So if that was up to 225, if we got the flat defense up there compared to this, if we remove that, we would lose 520. So we lose, if this was all the way upgraded, we could add 220 to that, 5 to that. We'd basically lose about 300 defense. So in a situation with that, like it's just better to run the defense percent. I'm really just keeping this to maybe re-roll it later on. Honestly, I could probably get rid of that. But like protection is a set I don't have a ton of on this new account. So I don't really want to get rid of it, you know, but that's also something you got to get past is honestly, like for the sake of the video, I should probably just sell that chest piece because I'm never going to use this chest piece. Even like there's no reason I should ever be using this chest piece. So let's just get rid of it. Sometimes you just got to be willing to get rid of it. And that's one thing that you just got to work on, just getting over the hump and just getting rid of it. I'm 4 months in on this account, and for the most part, well, these are just going to be farming pieces. We're not actually keeping any 3 stars. I don't try to really keep any 4-star stuff, and if I do, it's nothing that's rolled up or it's stuff that I'm getting from like the event dungeon and stuff that I just haven't cleaned out yet. None of this is stuff I'm going to keep. Even the cruel, the pinpoint accessories I might keep because you can just throw a pinpoint accessory on there. But the only reason I would even consider, like, it would have to be legendary, HP percent, and then maybe like speed and accuracy on there. Even cruel, like cruel's a solid set. I don't think I'm going to keep really any of this just because it's just lower. I'd probably keep these cruel boots, to be honest, but I can go through here. I can just sell all these because I'm at a point where I'm trying to progress the account. I think these are speed boots. I do need more speed boots, so that is one thing I have been keeping, is if there are speed boots, especially certain sets, I've been holding on to those. But if it's 4-star, I've moved on to the point where I'm just not keeping 4-star stuff on my account. That way I can just kind of work up and we're going 5 and 6-star gear. That way we could build stronger champions, build better champions. Now I probably need to cleanse out a lot of this gear is probably crap. I mean, speed crit rate's decent, crit rate attack, but again, looking for speed. But part of getting rid of gear also is like, you gotta spend some of it. This piece we can definitely get rid of. Like res, like with just res and crit rate of rare piece, we're only gonna get 2 boosts. We don't really need that. Crit rate gloves, I don't mind, especially early on. These crit damage gloves, I kept them because they're 6-star. Probably, I guess I need to go through and cleanse stuff out. I've been running some dungeons. But let's go over it. Let's go look at the main account and I'll show you guys some builds and some stuff that I'm looking at because it has a little bit more advanced stuff. And another thing to keep in mind here when you're building your champion, or maybe you get a brand new champion that you don't have yet, like maybe you just got your Arbiter missions done and you just got your Arbiter. One resource you can use is like Hell Hades. There's other stuff you can use too, like to help build champions. I mean, YouTube has guides as well. But you can go over to Hell Hades and they'll tell you all about the champion, where she's good at, what you can use her in. But also if you scroll down to the bottom, it has recommended stats, what you should build her in, recommended artifacts, like all kinds of great stuff in there that's going to help you out. And then they usually give you an example video. But I really like that they have like the recommended stats, especially like PvE stats or sets and stuff. It kind of gives you a point to like start at and then build from there. So obviously Arbiter, we want her as fast as possible. I try to keep her up near 400 speed. Like I'm trying to just push that up more and more. So all my speed gear is going into Arbiter here. Even 2-piece pinpoint. She doesn't need crit damage. I mean, I guess she's got full crit rate, but that's just because she has crit rate gloves because they have triple speed. I don't really care about that. She's not built to actually deal damage. She's built to go as fast as possible. I'm using these gloves because they're some of the fastest gloves on my account, you know? I'm using this chest piece because it's the fastest speed chest piece I have. Just all that kind of stuff just kind of compiled in there. We got a quad shield in there. So you just kind of take that in effect. With Arbiter, I'm trying to get a little bit of survivability, a little bit of HP. She has crazy attack here for an Arbiter, to be honest. And like she can smack and bail me out when needed. But really, I just want her going as fast as possible. You ever had an Arbiter that nukes? Mine does. But yeah, we just want her going as fast as possible up near 400. Lady Mikage. So like this is a very interesting champion. Like mythicals in general are just interesting because usually the two forms do two completely different things. Mikage, her second form is more of a support form. She's gonna have increased accuracy, place on weekends. She can strip out the enemy's stuff. This one's the strip one. Strip them all their buffs. She can place a stun. So you're gonna want, if you're using her like PvE, she's amazing to have accuracy on, or PvP rather. But if you're using her PvE, most of the time you're gonna be using this form, and you're gonna be using like the ally attack. You're gonna be increasing your buffs and stuff. For me, I put her in like a little bit of a hybrid build. I have her in a little bit of both here. We got her going really quick. Again, more speed, more turns. 500 accuracy, lots of survivability in there, decent attack, decent defense. Not really built for crit, but she does have some crit on there. So she's like one of those really weird examples there. I was trying to think, do I have my Alice built? I don't have Alice built on this one. So I can't really directly compare and contrast, but I know one champion that we were showing off there. He's kind of not built great on the other account, but Farrakhan the Fat here, if we pull him up, I use him a lot on this account. I can use him in my Sand Devil. I use him in my backup Hydra teams. Like I use him in a lot of different spots. 500 accuracy, tons of accuracy, tons of speed. And you'll notice like as the accounts progress, like I'm almost at a point where like 250 is minimal speeds unless it's a nuker. So it's like really, really odd. Like I need to rebuild my Aerophilos, but like example, tons of attack, not so much speed. There's another nuker that we have in here. Acrizia, she's kind of a high damage dealer, but she's crazy fast for this account. But she's also, her attacks are based on attack and enemy max HP, so we can kind of get away with not having as much in there as far as attack, but we also want her nuking away with the crit damage. Let's see, another nuker that we're looking at here, Hefrek, I've been using a lot. We got him in a little bit of a hybrid build here. So as you kind of progress through, you can run the accessories. You got 4-piece stone skin, and we want him in 100% crit rate. So, but he's also a little bit quicker, 224. I don't know. I feel like I'm all over the place, not really giving you good examples of what to look for in gear. I guess as you're progressing, like when you get to a point where you're trying to progress dungeons, like maybe you're hitting Nightmare, or maybe you're getting there, or maybe you're hitting like Dragon 20 and you're trying to progress more. You get to a point where you're going to be keeping gear. It has to have like certain things, like it has to have crit rate, has to have accuracy, has to have crit rate speed, has to have accuracy speed, but also there's some sets, like the special sets, I tend for now, because I'm not like super picky, like I don't have a ton of lethal, so I keep more lethal. Like I would love this to have speed. I would love his weapon to have speed, but I'm gonna hold on to that just because I don't have a lot here, you know? Oh, I guess like my big head's in the way, huh? I probably, this whole video, the editor's gonna be so mad at me. This whole video I've been talking and my big head's been in the way the whole time. Yeah, I can see him. I'm gonna get a message about this video, but hopefully you guys kind of seen what I'm talking about here. But again, speed with crit rate. If we're going with attack base, obviously we like attack. It's just so hard to get the perfect thing on everyone and every time. These gloves are really nice because we got crit damage on the sub. You can reroll that, obviously. Double speed, crit rate, a little bit of attack on there. Amazing. Great gloves. Yeah, just looking through here, I was trying to think of like other stuff, like good examples to show you. Merciless, you know, you got the accessories for Merciless to build. I don't know what I'm exactly getting at. I just wanted to have a conversation talking about like how I'm building some of my champions, what I'm looking for and stuff. For Loki, we got him in 9-piece Feral. You can see his stats here, tons of survivability, tons of accuracy. With the Feral, we deal more damage for each debuff placed by him. He's got chances of block active skills, block buffs on there. He can steal stuff. So, but mostly with him, I also like, we get a lot of Feral from running Siege. I would love to actually switch over. Who is it? Where is she? Oh no, I know who it is. Lydia, which I'm overlooking. I should just use the search feature. It would be so much easier, right? Let's just do that, right? I would definitely love to have my Lydia in a Feral, but I don't have the damn accessories for it. So she's in protection. But another champion that I love using a ton, my Elva. She's a turn meter booster. She's not as fast as she could be because we have her in the 9-piece protection. I'd love to have her closer to 400 like Arbiter, but since she's placing all these buffs on our champions, we're getting her 9-piece protection so that they can deal out more damage and then have the protective buffs as well. So It's just like kind of one of those things when you get a little bit further in, you start getting more of these advanced sets and stuff. Like some of these sets are just absolutely insane. Like we got like Stone Cleaver and Rebirth in now. It's just insane. Like I don't really even look, and I probably need to go through and cleanse. I don't really look like I'm never going to use accuracy. I'm never going to use any of this accuracy. I need to just get rid of it. I'm never going to use resistance. What am I going to use? A triple resistance? Like, what am I going to use resistance for? I should just get over it and sell it, but I don't know. I sell it little by little. Fury. What am I going to use Fury for? It's just one of those things, like, you also got to learn to, like, get rid of gear, but look at what your champions are doing. Look at how you can build them. Use resources and just kind of go from there. For her, we want her as survivable as possible. We got her at almost 100,000 hit points, decent defense. I don't know. It's one of those awkward things, like just learning to build champions. It's kind of like one of those skills. You just got to play with it. I'd set a slow example here. This is a slow example. Ultimate Death Knight, we went 0 speed on him. A 9-piece stone skin, that way it doesn't have a chance to be stripped as well, but also it has the bigger HP on it, the shield on it, but none of it has speed. So stone skin is a set that you don't need speed necessarily, but also contrary to that, I do have stone skin that has speed for other champions. So weird, man, because like I'm running 6-piece stone skin on Armand, so he's relatively quick. He's 273 and he's built in 6-piece stone skin. I mean, we saw Hefrek, he has stone skin, but he has speed. I'm trying to think, who else do I have that's in stone skin here that is also quicker? It's just like one of those awkward things. There's like no easy way to describe how to build champions and stuff. It's just, you kind of got to do it. Embrus, I just put Embrus. I forgot we did that in the last video. He's going 300 in stone skin. So we have stone skin with speed. Stone skin is like one of the weirdest sets in the game because you can use it with or without speed. I mean, there's champions like, I mean, you can get, not Rector Draft, that's not who I'm looking for. Vogoth, where you can put Vogoth. I need to rebuild my Vogoth. You can make Vogoth really slow and just put it Vogoth in stone skin and just allow Vogoth to soak hits because Vogoth will place the healing when attacked. So like another champion you can play slow. I don't know, guys. I'm all over the place here. I'm gonna quit rambling. Hopefully something in here was helpful. I was asked to, what do I look for in artifacts? I keep percent based artifacts. Like you're not gonna see too many not percent based on this account. It just depends on like, well, these I probably just got from a tournament. That's why they're in there. But Feral, I probably just got from Siege. New set I just got. I don't keep that stuff on my account because I just don't use it because the percent base is going to be better. But also just think about like good combinations for champions. Like if you're using a champion like Ninja where you want accuracy, like obviously you're going to want crit damage, crit rate, accuracy, speed, crit attack, crit rate, speed, crit rate, accuracy. Like you just want those combinations that make a lot of sense. We want him built in attack. I was messing with him in the Affinity Breaker for Sandoval. I don't think I actually like it more than my Perception build for him. I feel like the time is just as good in the 4-piece Perception and the Cruel. So I'm going to actually switch him back to that because I think I prefer this build for other parts of the game. Same thing, crit rate, attack, crit rate, speed, accuracy. Just look at what your champion's going to do. He's got HP burn that he's trying to place. He's got decreased defense on there. He can place freezes. Just look at what your champion's going to do. Are they placing debuffs? They need accuracy. Are they just support? They don't need accuracy. They want to be quick so you can support your team. Are they attacking? You want them built with crit. He's attacking, dealing debuffs. So I got him built in crit, but also tons and tons of accuracy on there. So you just kind of got to learn how to balance everything. He's like one of my highest attack champions on the account. It's one of those really awkward things, but you can definitely make it work. Really interesting champion. I said we were getting out of here, and now here I go, keep rambling. Calvulax here. I just recently rebuilt him. 8,400 on the attack, 400 accuracy, because at the beginning of the turn, he's going to place poisons, and then you got this daggone thing where the poison goes through 50% of his attack. It's insane. And then you pair that with the lethal dose, and it's just crazy. It's just crazy. All right, guys. Hopefully it was helpful. If you have questions, let me know down in the comment section. I'll do my best to get to them. I'll see you guys on the next one.